BKNIC Peering Forum 2016. I am Pensi Arunwattana Mongkol and I will be your host during today's meeting. The session will take off with the topic of IXP benefits to the big data and cloud services. You are going to meet a network architect from Akamai Technologies who will be presenting the topic the path to 100 plus IXs. May I invite Bob Lowe being on stage and take over the microphone?
So thanks BKNIX to invite me to speak in the first conference. And I'm pleased to announce that we are going to connect to the BKNIX. And that's probably one of the things we want to talk in this session. So how we try to grow together with the IX. So let me try to handle it better on the cursor. So Akamai is the first CDN to pass traffic over 100 of IX in IX locations. It took us 15 years. So today we will talk about what, why, how, and when do we go to the IX, like BKNIX case, and how does this fit into the general trends of localization of the traffic, moving the traffic from international to Bangkok. So, and then what's our future or what's coming? So we connect, that's the history of Akamai connecting to the IX. Not the IX history, try not to confuse it. I know some people are really concerned about it. So we connect to first IX in the States, that's the past in year 2000. And then we connect to links in year 2001, that's the first one in EMEA. But for the continental Europe, we start with BKNIX and M6 on 2001. And then there's the Spanish one on 2002. Then the first one in APJ is actually the JPIX in Japan. We connect to it on early 2002. So we pretty much start on year 2000 or year 2001 and 2 to start connecting to more IX in the world. So let's look at our numbers or our IX history in different point of view. Start with the IX location. So you can probably see that we start connecting to a 140 IX when it's around year 2008. It took us almost 5 years to basically here we are a 140-ish IX, and then around here to 2013 we finally reach 80 IX, and then eventually it takes us 2 more years to exceed 100 one. So we basically connect to 100 IX in the world. So let's look at it in terms of traffic volume. So we roughly have 5.21 terabit of capacity with different IX in the world. Given our traffic is around 35 terabit, so that's still a significant portion of our capacity in the IX. So when we talk about the traffic volume, that's roughly around 3-ish terabit of traffic passing through the IX. So that's almost 10% of our traffic is actually on the IX. Sorry, it's too sensitive. So let's look at numbers in terms of the country or city. So you probably see that US is the highest number of IX that we connect to in America. So maybe we are more interested in the Asia one. So typically the biggest one is actually Australia in our case, because Australia is a big country. We connect to the IX in different states. Even it's a well-developed world, we still want to localize the traffic within the city. So we send the traffic in Sydney users to Sydney, and Melbourne user to Melbourne, Perth to Perth, Adelaide to Adelaide. So that's our strategy to keep the traffic local to the users. So Australia is something like 8 or 9, and then in other cities like Hong Kong, we have more number of IX. We connect to APNIC Hong Kong IX, we connect to M6, we connect to different IX. In Japan, we have JPIX, we have APNIC and BBIX and some other IX as well. So hopefully, Thailand will be in the picture next time. So in terms of technologies, we still have some GE port in some countries, but majority of them are on 10G or multiple 10Gs. So we start using the 100G as well, mainly in Europe or US. We have 100G technologies with M6, Link 6, links. So sorry, that's too sensitive. So we believe peering is still typically cheaper than the transit because we can send some traffic to you directly. There's a fixed cost, at least we pay the cost on that, or there's a fixed cost. It doesn't burst like the transit, so easier to control the cost. And we believe it's lower distance. We get rid of the middle ASN, the hole in between, then we send the traffic to you directly. That should be higher performance and more reliable. So we start seeing more and more 4K video. We do have customers pushing 10 megabit 4K video in Australia. And we do have customers coming to us, we are going to do 4K video in Singapore. It might be coming in Thailand in the near future. So if it's pushing by TCP, we probably want to keep the latency within 34 milliseconds. So we can have a 10 to 15 megabit of streaming with a very good quality. That's why we always want to hand off the traffic in the lowest distance so we can keep the good TCP throughput. Especially video is really picking up in different countries. So why do we want to join the IX? We share the same purpose. We want to lower our costs. We believe the IX, the peering is cheaper than the transit. So we are a CDN, so we want to reduce our traffic from the transit. So we send less traffic to you from transit. That means you reduce your traffic receiving from the transit. So it's a win-win situation for both us and the members. And we want lower latency to hand off the traffic locally. And we also want diversity. In case our service goes down inside your network, in case the transit goes down or cable cut, we still have additional path to send you the traffic. And we always want to localize the traffic. So one of the things, we also want to encourage the ecosystem of the area like Thailand. We don't really have a neutral IX in Thailand. We really want to connect to BKNIX. Eventually, we have a carrier neutral data center, carrier neutral IX in the country. That would be a more healthy ecosystem like other part of the world, like that could be Singapore or Hong Kong one day, similar situation here. So when we decide to connect to BKNIX, we also consider to connect to different IX. Some of the design consideration in APNIC point of view. So typically in the IX, there might be 1 or 2 VLAN. Like the BKNIX use a different VLAN for V4 and V6. In other IXP like links, they have the Juniper LAN and the Extreme LAN. So we typically look at how many members in each VLAN, then decide to what's the capacity, whether we should connect it with 100G or 200G. So obviously the Juniper LAN, the Juniper VLAN has more members than the Extreme one. So we typically put more capacity on to the Juniper one, slightly less in the Extreme VLAN because less member, that's less traffic demand. But our mapping system can still send the traffic to the same ASN from both Juniper and Extreme VLAN in the same time. If you connect to both VLAN and we have clusters in both VLAN, our mapping system might send the traffic from both sides together. So when there is only a single VLAN or just a Juniper VLAN, we still need to review and see if we put one single cluster or multiple clusters. So let's say the Juniper VLAN case in links, because it's a very popular IX, there is many members over there. We are using 100G technologies. We don't want to shift 100 gig traffic from Juniper VLAN in links moving to M6, for example. That's not good for you and me. You can't dimension the backbone. I can't really dimension the server easily, although the mapping system will take care of it. So in some big VLAN or big ISP, we might put more than one clusters into it. Let's say we put two, three clusters into the Juniper VLAN. In case one of them goes down, the other server clusters inside the Juniper VLAN can take up some of the traffic, rather than swing the traffic or shift the traffic away from Juniper VLAN to Extreme VLAN or even to your transit. That's slightly too much traffic for both you and me. And let's say in Hong Kong IX, we actually in Hong Kong, we connect to Hong Kong IX from different data center. I think everyone by a local look connect to Hong Kong IX because it's in the university. In the uni, you can't put your servers inside the IDC. They don't really have a IDC. So we connect it from different data center to have some physical redundancy as well. Apart from the server cluster redundancy, we also look at the physical redundancy. So when we connect to the IX, one of the things we always discussing internally, or quite a lot of the discussion, is the WOW server. Whether we start with the WOW server or we don't use the WOW server, that's always controversial. WOW server is convenient. Once I turn up with BKNIX, I connect to the WOW server. Then I get most of the prefix, and then I can eventually grow the bilateral BGP session. That's how we usually do it. The WOW server might be able to run two different VM or two different WOW server with different software. That could be two WOW server with redundancy. But the WOW server goes down in different cases. We probably see in Hong Kong IX last month, the WOW server goes down, and then we actually see Hong Kong IX traffic goes down by more than 50%. So many people are still relying on the WOW servers. We still use it because it's convenient. It helps us to start with an IX. And then when we are well established, or when we bring up the router for a while, we want to bring up more bilateral sessions with all the members. Hopefully all the members, that in case there is any issues on the WOW server, the traffic wouldn't drop on the IX, then we can keep the traffic. So that's the general strategy we are planning for most of the IX, and especially the BKNIX one. So we will start with WOW server and probably send out to the member list. We are connected, so let's set up the bilateral BGP session one by one. So IX comparing with PNI, there is always some discussion on how we want to use it. IX is obviously a shared bandwidth. It's relatively cheaper in terms of per session because there is line members in BKNIX. Once I turn up connect to BKNIX, I actually can set up BGP with line members if they all agree to set up the BGP with me. Then I only have a single 10G port connecting to the IX, then sharing with line members. So from the cost point of view, let's say at least the router port cost, is one single 10G port shared with line members. So it's a shared capacity, not a dedicated one, but it's cheaper for per BGP session point of view. But the challenge is we don't know what's your bandwidth connecting to the IX. You might be on a GE link or let's say SGIX. Yesterday mentioned that they still have some 100 meg port on the IX. Although I have a 10G port, you might be on a GE or a 100 meg port. That's slightly challenging for us to manage the traffic pumping into the IX. So when the traffic of the circuit member grows, we might consider to put it into PNI because it's a dedicated bandwidth, and although we need to spare a dedicated 10G port for it, comparing with let's say cross connect calls or router port calls, it looks slightly more cost. But if the traffic, let's say, have 2-3 gig for its BGP session, it might make sense for us to move to PNI. So PNI might be slightly limited in resilience because it's only a single BGP session over the PNI is only might be a single cross connect or a single router. So and the PNI might only connect to a single cluster, so there is always some trade-off. In IX, it's cheaper per cost or per BGP session, so we might have 2 clusters in Hong Kong IX, for example. For in PNI, we might only have 1 PNI with you in Hong Kong. In case the cluster goes down, we still want the IX to back up some of the traffic. So there's always some discussion on how to use the IX and PNI. So in general, like the BKNIX one, we still connect to it. We still want to use the IX to grow the IX with a better ecosystem. So APNIX, we are a CDN provider. We have a well-established scheme to put a dedicated service inside the operator, but not the IXP. So in the past, different people refer different IX or different new IX actually come to us. You guys have a scheme to put the service inside the operator. Can you put it inside the IXP as well? That's not something standard in our side. That actually hurts us and the new IXP because it's non-standard design. It takes more process internally to deploy into an IX. Eventually, I think 1 or 2 years ago, we try to standardize it. We come up with a standard design pack, standard agreement. We call it AMPIX. The scheme we have is AMP, so it's a variant of AMP. We call it AMPIX. We put dedicated server into the IX. Then it will be dedicated for the members only. So it helps the IX to have some content, helps the IX to create a critical mass as an IX. With more content and more members, you probably get more traffic into the IX. Eventually, with more traffic, it actually attracts more members connecting to the IX. So that's how we want to come up with a scheme so we can reduce the process, reduce the lead time to grow with the new IX, especially in new countries or some remote countries. In some cases, ARCA might actually involve quite a lot on building an IX. We do have experience to provide equipment or some expertise for the local talents that sort of funds to help them to build an IX, or we provide our server clusters, help them to create a critical mass for an IX. So we are basically want to become one of the content entry in the IX. So any members coming to the IX, they can get some content, and perhaps that's international content that saves your transit costs. So it helps the IX to grow some members. Eventually it become big and self-sustainable. And we especially try to work on it in some countries. We believe that, let's say Thailand as an example, there is low neutral IX. You have to buy a domestic transit, and we call it IX. If all the members or all the smaller ISP can come together, cooperate with each other in a neutral IX, they can actually exchange traffic directly. You can get rid of, you can reduce the cost of the transit. So I think that's good for the ecosystem, that's good for you, and probably that's good for Akamai as well. We also want to reduce our costs in the country. And also, it also improves the speed and latency and access to the content. At the end of the day, we want to send the content faster and with higher performance and more reliable to the end users. And you want to serve your eyeball or your customers on a faster and more reliable way. So we are on different sides but having the same purpose. So Akamai, do you have many board experience in different IX? Let's say we are the founding member of France IX. We have different colleagues that's in the board of M6, Links, and BKNIX, and some other board as well. So we try to share the expertise in the board to help to manage the IX or grow with the IX as well. We connect to IX. We also disconnect from IX. Although we are happy that we are the first CDN who exceed or who hand over traffic more than 100 IX locations, we sometimes do DP the network or leave the IX for different reasons. When we connect to an IX, we actually see some cases. The provider enhance a super block, but they expect everyone has the full routes. So they expect the traffic actually routing on a more specific route. So there is a host, some broken things in their route announcement. We can't really send the traffic to the destination via your BGP announcement. So we probably have no choice. We have to DP you shut down the section or filter your routes because there is something broken in the BGP. So we want to get rid of it, so we sometimes DP the network who have broken announcements. And if the IX is becoming too expensive, some IX not to mention the link, some of the IX are slightly more than double of the price of the other IX. That's too expensive for our point of view. We might connect to PNI that's much cheaper. Or if the IX is no longer useful as the original purpose, we actually see in a Singapore IX example, it used to be one of the IX quite significant in the country. Eventually, they decided to move from IX role to the IX of the university. So that's purely dedicated for the university, not really encouraging the other provider to connect to it. So the position of that IX changes from time to time. So it might be less important for us to connect to it. So we sometimes decide to leave the IX. That's why when you see our graph, we connect to more IX, but sometimes there is a job. We disappear or we leave some IX as well. So after we connect to BKNIX, what's the prefix you need to expect? So that's how we operate the IX. Akamai is a CDN, we are DNS-based mapping. So we don't have a backbone. We don't enlarge all our prefix from the IX. We do some inconsistent routes. You can call it inconsistent routes. So we mainly enlarge the cluster prefix, duplicate of the BKNIX into the IX. So probably it's going to be a /24. So only a /24, but we can still pump significant traffic into the IX because nowadays the servers are much more powerful than the past. We have 10G link card on the server. The IX is still a best effort delivery. So even we connect to the IX, we can't guarantee all the traffic will be serving from the IX, not from your transit or not from overseas. It depends on the size of the clusters. We can't have all content in a single cluster because too many content, it doesn't fit into the servers. There is limited space, limited processing power on the server. So we can't guarantee you get all the traffic from us from the IX, but we try to push some of the traffic into the IX so you can reduce your transit costs. And we can't really guarantee you an SLA of the cluster because it's an IX. We might do maintenance in some different time zone. We try to send out notification, but we can't guarantee it never goes down at the end. It might still goes down in different reasons or different maintenance, different outage. We are a CDN, so we mainly push traffic to you. Our inbound is minimal in the IX unless you are a cloud provider. You might have some content, some of the content origin sitting inside your IDC, inside your cloud, then we might take some inbound from you. But we are a CDN, so you would expect we are mainly pushing traffic to you. And if you are an eyeball perfectly matched, you download the traffic from us. If you are a cloud provider, you might have some origin want to upload to me, so that's perfectly matched as well. But for the in-outbound, we are mainly pushing on the outbound. So when we connect to different IX, we always encounter different random issues. So some of the peers might lead our WoW and announce to worldwide. One of the classical case would be the WoW server of Hong Kong IX, because due to historical reason, they didn't want a proper WoW server software. So they have their own AS number in the WoW server announcement. That makes us slightly more difficult to pick the best WoW. But we are still okay with it, but that's something we pay attention to it. Some bad BGP traffic engineering as well. Some people, they tend to have incomplete announcement or overlapping WoWs. They like announcing the more specific WoWs in, let's say, in the peer, or announce the super block from transit. So they try to do some different fancy traffic engineering. At the end, some of the traffic engineering might be too fancy for our point of view. Then our mapping system might eventually shift the traffic to other location intentionally in our mapping system point of view. But that might be something unexpected in your point of view. So after we connect, if you don't see the traffic or you have questions, better to chat with us. We can chat with it from our point of view why we can't map the traffic to this cluster for you. Is there some, let's say we don't have the content here, this content needs a lot more disk space, it's 4K video. We need a bigger hard disk, so we send it from Singapore. Or is it the BGP announcement issue? We need to work with you to fine-tune the announcement before we can map the traffic to BKNIX. So we welcome you to send us email so we can work together, because the mapping system is the SDN concept that's slightly different from purely BGP routing. We run mapping system on top of the BGP, so we want to work together and map the traffic in a better, higher performance and more reliable way. So what does that mean, or what's the future? We probably already connect to 110 IX already. So BKNIX would be the next one we are going to connect. I think we target on the summertime thing. There's some probably by July. We want to localize the traffic because we are a CDN. We believe closer to the end users would get rid of the hole in the middle. That would improve the end user performance. We want to send the traffic in a faster, more reliable way. So that's why we encourage more local peering. Even in Australia cases, it's a well-developed world. We want to keep the traffic in each state locally as well. I think that's the general trend for localization of traffic, rather than pumping all traffic from US. So if you are an IXP or you are an ISP going to connect to BKNIX, let us know. We will connect to BKNIX, and we have an open peering policy. We will peer with you. If you are an IXP in some other countries, we can talk, we can work with you, see how we can connect to it. Sometimes it's challenging, but we still want to work together, see if we can work it out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob, for the fantastic presentation. And as a BKNIX, yeah, I would like to thank you, Akamai, that you finally come to BKNIX, and it will benefit to all of our members and Thailand internet users. Yeah. If there is any question, please raise your hand. No, it's okay. Then may I proceed to the next speaker, Mr. Adisak Japthale. He is the Operation Director of Leap Tech Solutions Asia. The stage is now ready for you, please.
สวัสดีครับ Good morning everyone. Okay, today I will present in English, but if you have some question in Thai, you can ask me, no problem. Okay, today I share my experience first. I am Arisak. I come from the hosting business more than 10 years ago. We provide the hosting, we provide the cloud more than 10 years ago. And the Leap Solution Asia is a new company, new joint venture company. We provide a cloud solution provider in Thailand. And some information in the slide, we share some experience on that. But some information, we share some statistic on that also. I think that the key point of today, we will share how cloud provider in Thailand to success. Because as you know, right now we have the major cloud provider in the world. Amazon, Google, and Azure come from Thailand also, come to Thailand. But we, local cloud provider, how we success, how we collaborate with BKNIX. Because we, Leap Solution Asia, we also connect to BKNIX to provide the cloud service in Thailand. Because we saw that some key point of BKNIX will help us to expand to the Thailand market also. The first slide, I will share some the information on from the 4 and 7. You saw that number, the very high growth. Cloud in Thailand that growth 2 digit, 30% growth every year on year. And for the market share, market size about the 83 million, 900 million more than next year. I think that's very interesting. But when I asked the local cloud provider in Thailand, how much market share on that? That number comes from almost before we exhibit this company, we research something like that also. We found some number that come from the big guy, mega cloud provider, go to Thailand to provide a cloud service. Google, Microsoft also. Local cloud provider that part of that, but still not much. But for the why cloud in Thailand still grow, I think that this information comes from our research also. I think that the same for the cloud provider in the world because of connectivity. The first thing is 3G and 4G come, also BKNIX come, that can help the customer to access the cloud service, access to software, server, and application on the cloud easier. That's a key point and important. And also the big data. The big data is a wording as a, for me, is a complicated word, not easy to understand. But big data is if the big data grows in Thailand, more than software and server will grow also. That cause of the mega cloud providers look like Amazon show success because they have the hyperscale, they have more server and software to provide big data also. But for Thai, big data already start. We have many education, we have many the workshop to the government, to the all corporate to study to start the big data also. IoT, Internet of Things, that I think that you know that I'm not sure that who come from Singapore. The Singapore they have smart city, right? Because the IoT come, they can build smart city in Singapore also. But in Thailand, as I know, government try to start on that. We plan to build smart city in Bangkok, Phuket, Chonburi also. But that's already the idea come. But still not make it happen right now. But I make sure that coming soon, Bangkok will go to smart city also by IoT. The mobility Yes. Right now, I show some static here, a bit. Population in Thailand in last, I use some information from the partner. Population in Thailand in last year around 77 billion. Mobile subscription is over than population rate. That's very important information. That means one user, one people, more than one mobile right now. We have one or two mobile, not only one-to-one. For me also, we have two, iPhone and Android, two for me. That if the mobile grows same like this, on mobile you use application, right? You have the application, you have storage, you have email. That impact to cloud growth also. Okay. Oh, sorry. This way. Sorry. Oh. Okay. The interesting information. Oh, sorry. Okay. We have people 60,000 million, but we have Line subscription 33 million users. 50% of Thai people have Line account. Interesting. In case of our corporate user leverage on this benefit, that means we saw some customer, the insurance customer, they start to use the Line to connect to user to buy the insurance also. They require cloud to provide that service because they know that 33 million users online. In case we have gained 10% of 33 million, they can connect to the user, consumer immediately. Also, YouTube. I think that you might know very much on that because many people in Thai, we start to change behavior to saw the movie, to saw the news. We saw from YouTube. We see from YouTube. We not use the television. We plan to from my life. When I went back to home, I saw the movie and news. We use YouTube. We can saw the back version on YouTube. That is interesting, and that impact to the cloud provider also, and BKNIX, because that store many content on that. Sorry, I try to understand this way, right? Okay. How about Thailand cloud? That simple. Yes, we have in the fourth survey, we have more than 37% growth in Thai. But yeah, sure. Yes, growth. Amazon, Azure, Google growth. How about the local Thailand cloud provider? Growth. Yes, we growth. Stable or not sure? Because that is interesting information because as a survey, some cloud provider growth only 10%, 20%, but in the market growth 30%. And when I check with Amazon, Azure, that yes, correct, I confirm they growth more than 30% every year on that. Okay. For our lead solution Asia, we look to the customer in Thailand. We try to separate 3 segments on that. First, enterprise market. Sure, when we talk to customer enterprise, many cloud providers in Thailand talk with the IT guy to convince them to convert on-premise to the cloud for enterprise market. And I saw some information. All hardware vendor, the IBM, HP, Cisco, sell hardware to the IT cloud provider, very growth, more than 20%. What they sell to the IT end user, not growth. They down were to 2.7% every year. That interesting information. That means the hardware vendors sell to cloud provider to provide cloud service to user. That's for enterprise market. For consumer market, as I shared with you, many users you have on mobile, we have LINE account. That when we can touch, how we touch to the consumer, we need app. Yes, the mobile device and IoT and app can connect to consumer market, and cloud provider to support that. Because LINE, you're thinking about 33 million users. When we build the IT application in-house, on-premise, how you address on that? Scale, very big. What cloud provider can do, because we have more scale, we can flexible to user to develop application to grow, matching to the 33 million LINE account, no problem. For startup market, interesting. In the last 2 weeks, in Thailand we set up, we have event, the Thailand startup. Very interesting, I joined that also. That we have many idea come from, but I share with you, but I not found a major unicorn startup. Many idea is small, is very, for my, that not big. We cannot compare with the startup with Instagram, Facebook, cannot. But that good time to start. Thailand startup already, we start to build, and very important to our economy also in Thailand. I think in case startup growth, that the direct impact to Thailand economic, sure. Next, back to simple question. How about cloud provider in Thailand? We are cloud provider or VPS provider, virtual private server provider. Different meaning. When we talk with it, when I customer, we talk with cloud provider, how we provisioning the server. And provider told me, connect to sales, contact to sales first. And sales will issue the quotation to you, quotation, and you sign quotation, and then send to engineer to provisioning server. That's not cloud. That is virtual private server provider. You have the only VMware or Hyper-V provider. That is not cloud. Also, how to scale. When I connect to cloud provider, when I develop something app, I need more CPU, more server. How we do? Connect to sales guy, talk to them, request more CPU and storage, and create. That's not cloud also. Because when you connect to Amazon, Google, no sales. You connect to the website, to their portal. You can create more server, create storage. You can scale up, scale down, scale up, down, or scale out by yourself. That is cloud provider. Because when I share on this, because when I check with the global standard for reference NIST, they writing some minimum requirement of cloud provider is the first is on demand and self-service. But when cloud provider in Thailand, I saw some provider can do right now, but some provider still cannot do. Okay, that very important. Many cloud providers, mega cloud providers in the world, talking about API. The wording is very old. When I graduated in the university, we know the API. But right now, when developer develop something on mobile app, on e-commerce, you need the API connected to cloud provider. That's important because when the developer require more resource, more scale, they just coding some program and enable more resource via API. Amazon, Azure, Google app, and some local company in Thailand talking about that. We have API to user. That means API come from the platform as a service, not IaaS, not infra as a service. Many cloud providers in Thailand focus on the infra as a service right now. We provide server storage to user, but if we need the API, we need to think beyond. We need to create more platform as a service to user, to help developer to create more app on that. And second word, as important to local cloud provider to talking about DevOps. DevOps is I know that many here is come from the internet, but I try to communicate because DevOps is a keyword. Is that important for cloud provider and user also. DevOps is the developer, development, and operation. Operation is the infrastructure. I mean, the operation is the IT infrastructure, internet, server, storage operation. Development is a look like the programmer. When we have some problem on that right now, but DevOps that come from Amazon, Google, and in the world, we talk about DevOps. But Thailand just start to talking about that also. Why that important? Developer, when they require some request from boss, big boss, they require develop something new. They need time very fast and furious to develop something on app, on cloud. But for IT guy, for IT director, we concerned about stability. Every change that impact to stable availability. Sometimes developer and IT talking, we cannot, sometimes have some conflict on that in the organization. IT cannot not allow any change. You have some process to test to everything to make sure every change. But for developer, require change a lot because the business change every day. They require app to more flexible to develop more feature on that. What is the role of DevOps? The important. DevOps is a culture, not IT solution, not IT solution. It's a culture. Sorry. Dev role is to create change. Their job is to create change every day. They create new program, add on feature on the program, on the e-commerce system, connect to the cloud. We create the stability. We commit SLA to boss, to big boss, but two person the same goal. We need to enable business. We support business, but we have different role to focus. DevOps movement. We have C-word. We have forwarding for DevOps movements. First is culture. Many important. We need to focus on culture first. How we collaborate, make good the communication between developer and IT infrastructure guy. That very complicated but important. Second thing is automation. Automation is how we help developer and IT to automate, testing automation, create more resource automation. That very important. And measurement. How we make sure that system that already test, already compared to quality assurance test, how we measure on that, and sharing. Sharing is important. When cloud provider in Thailand talking to sell cloud, to talking about cloud, we talking to the IT infrastructure guy, IT manager, IT director. Sometimes we talk with CEO, but we forgot to talking about developer. We must share some benefit on cloud to developer also. How cloud to help developer to easy to scale. I saw some customer right now, developer require more traffic, more user. They talk with the IT guy to add more memory CPU. That scale up. In a traditional world, we scale up. We add more resource, CPU memory on the server to support developer. But right now, some company use our cloud. Developer thinking about cloud, they use scale out. They don't require the add more memory CPU. They use Amazon, they use our cloud to scale out. When they reach some threshold, they automate to create more server, more database server, more web server to them. When the user automating reduce resource also. That change to programming also to develop something. Almost number 2, automation, measurement, and sharing. That leverage on the cloud technology benefit. We have cloud. That cause of the big guy on the world of cloud provider talking about that to your customer and success. But in Thailand cloud, we talking benefit on cloud to the only IT guy, infrastructure guy, success but not much. We must change something, thinking to talking to developer also, to sharing more benefit to them. I have more 2 slides. For that data market in Thailand, that Thailand is more than, I think we see in the growth rate, we see in the high growth, middle between growth and high growth in Thailand. Because we growth CAGR about 28% right now. And that is raising because that many cloud providers come and build cloud platform in Thailand. Our lab also, we build cloud platform in Thailand. We use more resource to the co-location, internet service, and our internet service connect to BKNIX also. That's the key criteria to consideration. I think the last slide. Data center building activity in the world. I think in Thailand, in the yellow, in the gaining momentum, we start to grow. Right now, I think that's very important to start the BKNIX and the cloud for Thailand, because the time of Thailand we start, we have the high growth. As you know, the many data center building in Thailand for this year and next 2 years. You saw many big names to build. Yes, that very important information. Okay, I think today we have on this slide. I think not sure do you have any question on that.
Any question? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much ครับ ขอบคุณมากครับ
Thank you very much คุณอดิศักดิ์จากทะเล for the interesting presentation. Again, may I invite Professor Kanchana Kanchanasut to give a token of appreciation to our speaker, to Bob and คุณอดิศักดิ์ Thank you. Thank you again, Bob and คุณอดิศักดิ์ Next will be the third round of peering personals. Please be reminded each one that will be introducing yourself and your business will have 2 minutes. คุณกิตินันท์ please take over the microphone.
Okay, thank you very much, Kun Pensi. Okay, let me introduce myself again. My name is Kitinand. For the last session, we have another round for peering personal. Please send the slide to me or event at bknic.co.th. For this round, we have 5 persons. I will tell you your name and please line up on the side of the stage. Okay. First is Akamai. The second is MyX. The next is Sabai and CNX. And the last one is PH OpenIX. Okay. The first one. Please welcome Kun Bob.
Akamai, 20940, and we actually have an ASN. So for 20940 is our CDN ASN. So you pretty much have all the information from the peering DB. We have an open peering policy. So anywhere we are mutually present, feel free to email us. We want to set up bilateral BGP session. Next piece. 32787. That's the ASN that we acquire from Polassic. That's the squabbling center. So that's a different platform. We take the attack traffic. We basically absorb the attack traffic. So that would be mainly absorbing the botnet traffic is inbound. So the other way one of the CDN is by any class in nature. So we do selective peering. So let us know if you see slightly too much botnet traffic in your network. We are happy to absorb it. Some high-level diagram. So hopefully Bangkok will be here next time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. The next is Malaysia Internet Exchange.
Hi, my name is Mohan. I'm from Malaysian Internet Exchange. Next slide. Okay, we have established in 2006, and I think this year we are celebrating 10-year anniversary. And we are funded by government initially, and now the society is self-funded in 2011. We started with 16 members, and today we have almost 72 members and 13 international peers. We are non-profit and layer 2 open peering. Next slide. We have almost all the local peers in MyX, the major ISPs and major content providers and peering in MyX. Next slide. Okay, then we also have a major international content providers in MyX also. Next slide. This is our summary. So we are ASN 55822, and we are open peering for local traffic, and we have traffic provides a balance. We have almost 130 gig peak traffic. And if you are interested, please send an email to the peering@myx.my, or you can contact me during the session. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mohan. The next is Sabai from Cambodia.
Hello, my name is Mike from Cambodia. Just to introduce Sabai. Sabai is a content provider and a data center provider in Cambodia. And if you have any content that Cambodia might want, we are very happy to support you.
Next.
Okay, and one of our major activities is we are funding CNX, which is an open exchange in Cambodia. We got currently 25 members, which is all the major ISPs and telcos in Cambodia. Unfortunately, no CDN, no cash, no international participation yet. So we're really hoping to raise the profile of Cambodia to say we are ready. If you have content, we have the peering connections to every eyeball in Cambodia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. The last one is Mr. Bani from Philippine OpenIX.
Good morning, I'm Bani Lara from the Philippines. So we're operating AS4779 on behalf of PH OpenIX. We have 3 locations in Manila, a switch in the second biggest telco, which is Globe, and a brand new switch at the major first telco called PLDT. Then we have a third switch at our office. Then south of Manila in Cebu, we have another presence at the Department of Science and Technology office. So aggregate traffic in Manila right now, at least the peak is 25 gig. For Cebu, it's quite low. We're still growing it around 300 meg. So we have route servers there, and here is the contact info if you wish to peer in the Philippines. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bunny. Look like in my list is out, and anyone who want to express yourself, please raise your hand. I will give you the microphone. Anyone want to introduce yourself? Please raise up your hand. Anyone? Kun sir, you want to?
Thank you, Kun Kitinan, and all speakers in this session for your valuable time in sharing. We will set up another session, so let's have a break for like 45 minutes. We will need to set up the stage, and we will be back here again in almost 10:45 or 10:50 for a panel discussion policy related to the telecommunication transaction in Thailand. While there will be a topic of how to peer at the IXs running in parallel in another room, the coffee break is now ready for you in front of the room. Thank you.